The rich get richer while the middle class seems to be struggling just to get by. 66% of Americans are reported to be living paycheck to paycheck, while 44% of Americans don't even have $1,000 saved up for emergencies. So who's to blame for this increasing divide between the rich and the poor? I know what you're probably thinking.
It's the greedy billionaires.
It's the evil corporations buying up all the land.
It's Joe's fault.
While all of these are valid reasons, I believe that the biggest person to blame is the person standing in front of the mirror. I believe that many of the struggles that people face with money today are self-inflicted due to certain habits and practices that are unfortunately normalized to our society. If you're new here, hi, I'm Angelo, and in this channel we talk all about personal finance, business, entrepreneurship, and all things money. And in this video I'm going to be talking about 6 middle-class money habits that will keep you broke forever and how to break free from them. Middle-class habit number 1, paying yourself last. Let me know if this sounds familiar. Once you finally get your paycheck, you pay your rents, you pay your bills, you make social plans with your friends, maybe you treat yourself to a nice dinner, and if there's anything left, you save it. Sounds pretty normal, right? But what if I told you this approach is actually what's keeping you poor? In the book Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, the author explains that one of the key differences between the rich and the poor is actually how they pay their bills. The first one is the poor people's way, and it's paying yourself last. You get paid, you pay for bills, and then whatever that's left over, you save and invest. On the contrary, the second one, which is the rich people's way, it's the exact opposite. You see, when rich people first get paid, their first instinct is not to pay other people, it's to pay themselves. So as soon as money hits their account, they instantly move a portion of that paycheck into their savings, and then they'll pay off their bills with whatever's left over. This way, it guarantees that you're saving and building your wealth consistently and will force you to restructure your life to better prioritize your money. So for you, take a minimum of 10% of your each paycheck, and as soon as it hits your account, put it immediately into your savings. Think of it as if you're paying a bill. It's non-negotiable. I've been doing this since I was 18, and I can't stress this enough. It has been a game changer in my whole personal finance and net worth building journey. Now, I know prioritizing saving before paying off your bills might be hard for some of you because you have another issue. You have a spending problem. This will make it impossible for you to pay yourself first because you're already blowing your money away before you had the chance to do anything. And this brings me to middle class habit number 2, abusing credit cards. In the first quarter of 2024, it was reported that Americans are $1.15 trillion in credit card debt, with the average American having a credit card balance of $6,501. Now, I love credit cards. I have hella, but credit cards create a false sense of a power, making it really easy to overspend. You might be spending money thinking about all the cool rewards and travel hacking that you might do, only to face a bill that you can't pay off, incurring interest and debt. And if you didn't know, these credit card companies aren't your friend. Their whole entire business model revolves around you overspending and being irresponsible with your credit card. And most people don't even know that the average interest rate on credit cards is 27%. So that means if you have a credit card balance of $6,000 and you plan to pay it off $500 a month, it will take you 14 months to pay off everything. That's $903 and 2 months extra that you're paying because of the interest. Now, my rule of thumb on credit cards is really simple. Never buy something that you can't afford outright in cash. Always set up automatic payments so you're never late. And lastly, pay everything in full every time. If you can just follow those 3 simple rules, it'll help you a lot to stay out of bad credit card debt. However, if you're already in one, you can use something that's called the snowball method. This is where you list all the debts that you have sorted by balance, and then with all of your money, with all of your spiritual and financial energy, you attack the smallest one first and work your way up. It's a simple method, but I don't doubt that it's hard, especially if you're out of control of your spending and you constantly feel the need to upgrade your life. And that brings me to middle class habit number 3, lifestyle inflation. I grew up in the lower middle class. I never had to worry about the next meal, but my immigrant parents never forgot to tell me we can't afford it every time they could. So when I got my first big boy paycheck, I felt like I was a millionaire. And since I felt like I had a lot of money, I started to splurge on things that I never would have before. I bought new shoes, I would eat out all the time, I got new sunglasses, and before I knew it, I had spent my entire paycheck. If your income rises, you might feel a little more comfortable buying that new car or upgrading your new phone, whatever it may be. And while this may seem normal, that extra spending actually prevents you from building any wealth because you're essentially canceling out any increase of income with your increase of expenses. With greater income comes temptation to increase your standard of living, often leading to more spending. To avoid this, you need a budget. A good rule of thumb is the 50-30-20 method. 50% of your income goes to needs like housing, food, utilities. 30% goes to wants like entertainment, vacations, and 20% goes into savings. Start off with this, and once you get more comfortable, you can adjust the ratio accordingly to your personal lifestyle. Middle class habit number 4, being afraid to talk about money. I grew up in a very religious household, so anytime I would bring up the talk about money, my parents would always say, money is the root of all evil. Don't ever talk about money. You're being greedy. So I grew up knowing absolutely zero about investing, how to pay my taxes, or even what my parents did for a living. If you talk about money, you're typically labeled as greedy, selfish, or real Scrooge McDuck. However, not talking about money with your friends and family actually does more harm than good. When you open the discussion about money to your family and friends, you're able to combine your experiences and learn from everyone around you, making this whole game of money a little less scary. Imagine a world where it's just you trying to learn how to navigate through this confusing world of money. You work hard every day trying to learn how to pay off your taxes, what's the best investment strategy, how to even have a budget, and you're doing this all by yourself. And when you make a mistake, you learn from it and you gradually improve. Now, imagine a different world where you and 4 friends are regularly talking about money and navigating the world of money together. And on Monday, friend number 1 learns a valuable tip on budgeting and shares it with everyone. Friend number 2 learns how to invest and shares an investment opportunity with everyone. And then on Thursday, friend number 3 realizes he made a big mistake in his budgeting and lets everyone know so they don't make the same mistake as well. Now, which world do you think makes the most progress? In the second world, everyone's sharing their experiences and learning from each other and constantly getting feedback. Life and personal finance is a long-term game, and playing it solo only makes it harder than it really needs to be. So talk to your friends, ask your parents for help. You'll make so much more progress and save so much money and skip so many mistakes, and will also make the conversation about money a little less scary. Middle class habit number 5, working harder, not smarter. My immigrant parents always emphasize the importance of working hard. That's what worked for them. That should work for me. Now, while working hard is really important, working smart is essential if you actually want to build wealth, especially if you want to build wealth while you're young. One way to work smarter is by using leverage. Leverage is the ability to multiply your efforts without putting any extra resources. In layman's terms, it's the ability to achieve more by doing less. Archimedes once said, "Give me a lever long enough and a fulcrum on which to place it, and I shall move the world." This quote illustrates with the right tools and position, you can achieve extraordinary results with little effort. But that is if you know how to use leverage and work smarter. For example, if you wanted to reach 1 million people, in the older days, you'd have to physically go out and meet every single person. That would take forever. Nowadays, you can leverage code and social media and create content and reach millions of people with a fraction of the effort. Another form of leverage is investing. The stock market, on average, returns 10% per year, meaning every decade, your money that you invest will double. Imagine this. Person A and person B both make $60,000 and is able to save 20% of their income per year. Person A keeps their savings in the bank while person B invests that money to the stock market, getting an average return of 10%. It will take person A 83 years to save up $1 million, while it takes person B only 21. This is the power of working smarter and using leverage to build your wealth. And this leads me to middle class habit number 6, waiting too long to invest. Investing is key to building wealth, but many people push it aside because they don't make enough money, or they don't want to handle responsibility, or they're too young. Many people wait until they have enough money, until they're 25 and they have a stable job to start investing. However, the actual amount of money that you invest in doesn't matter as much as when you actually start investing. This is a page from one of my favorite books, Unshakable by Tony Robbins, and it shows the difference between 2 people who invest at 2 different ages. On the left, you see Joe, who invests $300 a month from age 19 to 26. And on the right, you see Bob, who invests the same amount of money except from age 27 to 65. And despite Bob investing a lot more money and for a lot longer, you'll see that actually Joe ends up with $300,000 more than Bob. And this is all just because he started investing earlier rather than later. This is called compound interest, which we touched on last habit when we talked about leverage. And I know that investing sounds scary, but it's only scary because it's new. That's why it's so important to start as soon as you can so you can take advantage of compound interest, but also so when you are making more money, you know what to do. Imagine starting investing when you're 30 years old, when it really matters and you are still a beginner. And middle class habit number 7, relying on one source of income. When you have one source of income, you create this income ceiling that makes you believe that you can never earn as more as whatever you're making right now. Traditionally, middle class people have 9-to-5 jobs that help support their lifestyle. But unfortunately, in this economy, just relying on one source of income is not feasible anymore. The wealthy don't get wealthy just from one source of income. They have various income streams from investments, real estate, other business ventures, side hustle. And if you learn anything from COVID, no job is truly secure. So if anything happens, you need to be able to make sure that you'll be okay and you'll still be able to build wealth. Now, I know you may not have the time or the bandwidth to have multiple businesses, but you don't need to. There are plenty of simple ways to make money outside of a 9-to-5 jobs. You can sell books on Amazon, you could dog walk, you can DoorDash. There's so many options. Just relying on one source of income is dangerous because if you give them permission to feed you, you give them the power to starve. I know breaking these bad money habits seem hard. That's okay. It's supposed to. I'm not asking something small of you. I'm asking you to change your life drastically. So be patient with yourself, pay yourself first, stop abusing credit cards, and work smarter. Check out this video that I made on realistic side hustles that can help you make $500 to $1,000 a month plus. Of course, hit the like button, subscribe. Till next time.